I've got it hotbarred. I've got it hotbarred. I love it. I remembered how to hotbar something. Oh my god. Hey everybody, welcome to Feathers and Friends, where this week I have from File Under Entertainment, as well as the Evil Mark Show, I have Eric. Eric, welcome back.
Thank you, Jared. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, I want to shoot this out there because we actually have two sponsors today, believe it or not. Sponsor number one is Sucius are my favorite, the gentleman that has been on and featured.
Gaio!
Yeah, Gaio. Oh god. So he sent me this beautiful Shure microphone that he wasn't using. I just had to buy it. I just had to pay the $10 in shipping, and so like
Yeah.
I'm slowly figuring out how to work an XLR microphone. So Gaio,
Nice.
thank you for sponsoring another episode that has been fantastic. And then we have another sponsor because they're a part of. I'm actually. They finally came out with an episode, or she finally came out with the episode. Have you ever done that where you record something and it takes like 3 or 4 weeks for it to come out, or like even months with someone?
No, I've
No.
that hasn't happened. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, a couple weeks, but not like months or anything. Yeah.
So, so I recorded this podcast for Stolen Our Hearts. It's about just pets in general, but it's Stolen Our Hearts. She didn't. She's a gal from Australia, I believe, if I remember correct. Australia or New Zealand. But we had a conversation. Um, I think we had a conversation like 5 months ago, 5 6 months ago. Yeah, like it was
Oh
like,
my God.
yeah, it was
And
like
it's just
summer.
not, that's a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because that Black Girl podcast, I think if I remember the name correctly, they did the same thing. Where like I filmed an episode with them, and that's actually how Gaio got in contact with me because I played video games. But like I did an episode with them, and like it came out like I recorded it in April, and then it aired in like August, and I'm like, what? Why does it take so long to like? How many people do you have backed up? Like that'd be kind of a
Yeah,
nice problem to have. It's like, oh, this could
for
just go
sure.
on for weeks. So
Yeah. No kidding. That's
yeah,
crazy.
so to Gaio from Susius are my favorite. Thank you for the microphone, and to Stolen Our Hearts. Everyone go check out that episode. It actually premiered today, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go check up on that. Eric, though, I fucking House File and Entertainment going. I've seen a few snippets here. Like I told you in the beginning, I got some backlogs ready to go. What's up with that?
Yeah, it's back, man. It's back after a long like hiatus. Dylan got a new like a real life job, so that was, taking up a lot of his time and responsibility naturally. Because he wasn't used to working like a 9 to 5. He was just like doing social work with a guy, and he was working like I don't know a few hours a day, and then so when he started working like 8 hour day shifts, he's like, I can't do it. It's like yeah, I hear you.
Nice.
So he's getting kind of into the swing of things, and that's good for him. And also, he was busy promoting the album that came out on January the 1st. So that's
Nice.
live everywhere. He recorded a full length album under his band name Listen Natalia, and that's on Spotify and SoundCloud and all that kind of stuff. He's actually doing some work to promote it, and he had an interview with like a college radio station out in Utah, and they absolutely loved it, and they're gonna give him airtime, and yeah, it's really super
Wow.
cool. Yeah, he's actually
Wow.
like taking it seriously and doing like the real like promotional stuff to try to get ears on, and it's really cool. I'm proud of him.
That.
Obviously he's my brother, and so I love
Mhm.
him, and I think all of his stuff is great just based on that, but I legitimately like think it's good and listen to the stuff, and I like start finding myself like humming along with it. I was like, yeah, it's catchy, man. Like it's really good, and it's not just because he's my brother. I think a lot of people will find a song that they enjoy. There's really something for everybody.
Well, that rap artist, I forget what her name was that you had on from London, right? She was like 18 or something like that. Yeah.
Cage.
Who?
Yeah, Cage.
Cage? Yeah,
Yeah.
like I hotbarred. I've got her in my rap album. Like I just because like I've got only a very few select rap songs that I listen to, and every once in a while I hit it. I'm like, oh, that's right. That Eric discovered this lady for me. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's kind of
Yeah, I hope
dope.
she blows up, man, because she's really good and really talented. And that same thing with that Eyesore kid. Like he's got some, pops, for being a 15-year-old dude. Is like he's got some talent. So it's like, yeah, I felt really awkward like having that interview, and I was like, yeah. But yeah, no, he's really talented, and so is she, and Dylan is as well. So it's like it's really cool to be affiliated with people that are doing really cool things in music.
Well, you listened to the Starbucks episode, or you get there just yet?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that last girl, she hit me up. It was really kind of weird because like I felt she was super super young because I think she's the last interview on there. But I knew she was super super young to begin with because of the sound of her voice. And she's like, yeah, let's do this. It was real quick. Like I got a message and like 10 minutes later, I'm recording the session, and like starting to talk to her. She's like, yeah, I started real young. I was 16. I was like, oh, and I was like, you're 18, right? And she's like, yep, I'm 18. I was like, okay. This still feels
Just
awkward.
like it's been 5 minutes.
Yeah, like I just turned 18 5 minutes ago, Jared. Oh, I can deal with that. I can deal with that. So, yeah,
That
man.
was a really good episode. You really had your interviewing chops at full marks.
Oh,
It was good.
please. No, yeah, like well, that's what happens when I get really invested into something. I'm like, I just like, I could just ask and ask and ask and just like, and I feel because like I'm the Dash has called me the wild card for the Shorts and Hoodies podcast. It was really funny because like I just come out of left field, and that's why I think some of my interviews are okay. Is just because I'm like, well, I mean, typically everyone's going to ask about this, but like, hey, let's ask about this stuff over here because that's what everyone might kind of want to know. So I got
No,
you.
it's great. I really dig it.
Now,
And like all the episodes with Gaio have been great too. Yeah,
oh,
he's a super cool dude, and yeah, I mean really generous too of not only of his time, but to give you some equipment there. That's really cool of him.
well,
So.
he's got an adventure that he's going on. He's trying to live the van life, I guess, for a little bit is what he's been talking about doing. And I'm like, okay. And so he's like trying to downsize everything. I was like, all right, well, I mean, like, okay, that's cool and all. He's like, hey, do you want some like XLR? He's like, you want some stuff? You pay shipping. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take some audio
The
equipment.
van life.
Yeah,
That's Yeah, I guess that's a thing because this other guy that well, I don't know him, but I mean I know him. His name's Jordan. He goes by Anime Daddy.
mm,
He's friends with the Let's Play Death Ray guys that
yeah.
like the Twitch friends that I'm with, and yeah, I guess he's doing the same thing. Like he just sold a bunch of his stuff, and he's like he went through a bad breakup, and he's like I need to make a change in my life, and so then he just like decided I'm gonna live in a van for months. Of like that's
All right.
hey, more power to you if you can swing that, man.
I mean, I'm all for it, but like he's like trying to like find like he's like, oh, this cable could be used for like three or four different things or something like that, so that way I don't have three or four different cables laying around. I was like, that's fair, but then like I looked up what he sent me, and I'm like, dude, why would you send me that? Like that's fucking okay. I mean, like, yeah, cool, whatever, I'll take it. I'll take it, man.
But I mean, is he still doing his own show like from
Hmm.
the van or whatever? Like
Yeah,
what's he
yeah,
doing?
he still wants he wants to get it off the ground in like a year or something crazy like that. He's like, I want to get it up and running in a year, and then I think he's moving to one show a week because he did Podmo or something like that, where it's like like he wanted to put out one episode a day or one episode a day for an entire month.
Oof.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
That's
was
ambitious.
that's what I told him. I was like, that's
I mean,
ambition.
I would love to be able to do that, but I just like, yeah, I mean, just having a regular full-time job, I mean, which I think he does, right? So, I mean,
Hmm.
it's like, that's really some dedication just to be able to find the time. Like, even if you had topics or if you had guests lined up or whatever, if that's just to be able to find the actual time to do it. I mean, because there's days where you just don't always feel the best, so.
I mean, even if it's a 20 minute, like he tried to do like 20 minutes, and like I would highly like you want to learn about somebody, go listen to his most recent episodes. Like he put out where he just talks about some shit, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that about you. And like him and I have been kind of gaming a little bit lately too, so like it's weird. Like trying to do that for a month. He's like, yeah, I'm a little burned out. I was like, I would be too.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was like 2 or 3 days where he's like, "Hey, Jared, got a question. You want to do a podcast about it?" It's like, sure, I can pinch hit for you, you know. But like that's so ambitious, man, so ambitious.
Yeah, no, but it's really cool that you guys like have that relationship. I mean, it is like, just kind of like the relationship that you and I have. Like, I've
Mm,
met so many awesome people that I call like real life friends now through podcasting. It's like
yeah,
it's kind of remarkable. It's like, you and I text and me and Mark text and me and the Let's Play Death Ray guys we text and it's like The majority of my texts that aren't to my wife are like to people like my friends that I've met through podcasts. It's like other like real life friends, you know. I don't communicate with as often as I do with you guys. It's just kind of crazy. So,
Well, dude, like, cause like I remember when I first was talking to you, I was like, like I wasn't feeling the best. I wasn't gonna do the episode. I was gonna call it off. 3 hours later, fucking banger. Just like one of the best episodes like to this day. That is like the best episode I've ever had. Just came out of it, and then it was funny because like Gaio hit me up, and I was like, "How am I going to talk to a recovering sex addict?" I was like, I don't have a
intercourse
topic."
addicts.
Oh, yeah, that's right, intercourse
Yes.
addict. And I was like, I don't know anything about that realm. Like, I'm lucky if I get a girlfriend, and then just you guys just both to the freaking moon, diamond hands, as they say.
No, that dude's super cool. Like I just kind of I wish that we had that episode of us together to do back over again. It's just I was kind of like shocked that someone else was coming on. It's just like I don't know if he thinks that I dislike him or something because that's totally not the case. I think he's a really awesome guy. So I would love to have the opportunity to have the three of us together or me go on his show if he still wants to do it or whatever. I don't know what he's planning on doing. I
Yeah,
need to start listening to his episodes. So.
yeah.
I mean,
It
not
was
like of his own show, not the
yeah,
ones
yeah.
strictly where he's on with you. So
I feel kind of bad about that episode because I'm like, I got a surprise for Eric, another veteran. Hoorah! Like it's Army this time, and like I was kind of hoping to do like an all military episode where I had like a Navy guy, I had the Army guy, I had the Air Force, and I was like, oh, let's get a Marine. I was like, it's gonna be a big surprise, and then the surprise just kind of blew up in my face. I was like, no,
no,
that's fair.
it's fine, and I genuinely hope that he doesn't think that I dislike him or something or
No,
don't want to have anything to do with him because it
yeah.
was just like it was just kind of odd at the time. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, he thinks he thinks you're fine because like I talked to him about it. I was like, I didn't tell him at all that you're coming on, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be a cool surprise, and fuck yeah, like so that's how well surprises go for me. Just no, I got you, I
well,
got you.
so last time we talked, we were recording on December the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still had a week's worth of work before I was gonna have
Yeah,
off for like that whole time. And you had a very important holiday party where you were gonna be dressed to the nines. How did that go?
that's actually what got me the lady that I'm chatting with now. Believe it or not. So I show up. I've got my button up on. I've got a nice shirt. I've got a like all black tie. Like I'm looking fly as fuck. I'm wearing my kilt too. I've got the knee high socks. I've got my shiny shoes from the military days. The core frames. For those of you who
Yeah.
know
Oh
what a
yeah.
core frame is, yeah.
Fucking hell. That's a word I have not heard in a long time. Holy shit.
Oh yeah. Like I remember when I bought these. I literally went. I went to Amazon and I typed in core frame,
Poor friends.
and it popped up. It was like your
That's
inbox.
so cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I hit up the core frames and I had to dust them off, of course, because I haven't used them in forever. But I show up looking dressed to nines, and one of the girls at work was kind of chatting with me, and she was a little tipsy. But she was there with a gentleman. I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. And then come to find out, there's like a lot of back behind the scenes stuff where they've been broken up for a while. There's all this kind of weird drama that's literally like about to end in like 2 weeks, where she's moving. She's like an hour north of me. She'll be an hour south of me. So I was like, oh, okay. And like all of a sudden I was texting her one day and she's like, hey, just FYI, you looked really good at the show, blah, blah, blah. And it just started and it rolled from there. So like a lot of coolness came from meeting everybody that I worked with. It was a fun show. It was great. Like we played a little bit of, what was that? The Price is Right. They had like a little Price is
Nice.
Right kind of get up.
That's cool.
People won a bunch of TVs. People won a bunch of nonsense. I was just like, I was excited to be there. But like, damn, I didn't know the company was that big, let alone our reach was that far. I was like, wow, I had no idea about this. And then what
Yeah,
was
that's
really cool. What was really cool is that like every year we pick one of our locations that we're like, hey, go ahead and talk to the local Ronald McDonald House. We're gonna give you a fat fucking check. I think we donated like $35,000 to the local
Holy
Ronald
shit.
McDonald House. It's
That's
building
awesome, man.
yeah, it's building them a new playground, and it's like building like 2 or 3 rooms onto to the place that they're at now. So
Wow. That's super cool. That's real. I like when companies, are really like generous and don't be like, oh, we're hoarding it all so the CEO can drive a new Bentley. No, that's really cool.
yeah, I am curious though, because I remember you said that you were taking like 2 weeks off for
Yeah.
Christmas. How did that go?
Fine. I mean, I was off with my wife, and so it was great just by virtue of that. But like, I ended up fucking up my back because
Mm.
we just like we hardly did anything. Like we had all these grand ambitions. Oh, we're gonna do this, whatever.
Mm.
And like, so it was mostly just like watching movies and shitty TV and just like snuggling on the couch. And so I was sitting kind of like crooked, and I think I ended up like fucking my back up. And so it's like. Yeah, I need to go to a chiropractor or something. Like, don't get old, dude. It just it sucks, man. Like, just where you can just like sleep and wake up, and you're like, oh, I'm fucking crippled now. Like, it's no good.
Well, I mean, there's a tall enough building here in my local town where I could just bloop. There we go. Don't get any older. I won't get any older. Oh my goodness. Oh man. So I did have a VA story for you. I did have a
Okay.
VA story for you that I wanted to talk to you about. So I've been dealing with a sinus infection. Like it's not even fun to really talk, to be completely honest with you. So they thought it was COVID twice, right? I get tested for COVID. I go back in. They're like leaning towards COVID again. I'm like, look, it's not COVID. It's not. It is a sinus thing. Everything points to sinus. They check me out. They're like, all right, great. Go ahead and get yourself some horse pills.
Mm.
These are 875 milligrams of amoxicillin, and then
Ooh.
125 milligrams of like clavolante or some nonsense. I don't know. They're giant. Like this is the first time I've had to break a pill in half to take it. Right. So like it's funny because like the VA is like, oh, just go to the local Walmart, or you can go to the local Walgreens. You can go there and our insurance is taken care of. Well, Biden has pissed off Walmart apparently, and for some reason he's pissed off Walgreens too. Because I had two separate agents at the VA for the Missions Act. For those of you who don't know, is like our insurance. They're like, hey, go to Walgreens or go to Walmart. You can get it. And both times I go, they're like, we don't accept your insurance. It's gonna be a lot of money. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. You're kidding me. And so they're like, yeah, well, we actually do approve you at this one place. And I was like, but that's like a 45-minute drive to there. Like it's 45
Mm.
minutes one way just to get. And I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll just pay for it. So I paid for it out of pocket. I found out I can get reimbursed, but I was like, I want to file a complaint with somebody because I was told twice incorrectly. So it's like, all right, I'm transferring you to the White House complaint line. I'm like, wait, what? So I left a formal complaint with the White House about the VA. I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
Because,
hopefully someone actually like monitors that line or something, and it
oh,
actually like something will happen, and it's not just like delete.
well, no, like I talked to a real person. Like I
Oh
talked to a
wow.
real, yeah. It was funny because I'm talking to the lady. I'm like, look, I know it's not. I work in a call center. I'm sorry. I'm not bitching at you. I'm not complaining at you. I'm venting. Is there some way I can log a complaint? Because I heard you can log a complaint on the system. She's like, I'll transfer you to the White House complaint line. I was like, I'm sorry, and then she transferred me, and I was like, oh. And so I talked to a really nice lady there, and I was just like, yeah, I'd like to file a complaint. It kind of lost all
Yeah,
my steam.
yeah. You feel all sheepish about it. Then it's like,
So
but
yeah.
I mean, it's okay. So you talk to them, and what did they have to say?
So that's where I found out if I take my receipt to the community like service or something like that at the local VA that I go to here, I can get a refund for having to pay for the meds out of pocket because I was because of one thing or another. So I got my receipt, and like I actually have a visit with one of my psychiatrists there, who I'm gonna go have a conversation with not too shortly. Go ahead and just be like, hey, where's the community thing here, and drop it off for them, or see if I could do
Nice.
something digitally. Yeah. So the VA did something right, but it did something wrong.
Well, but it sounded like it was at least like an amicable kind of resolution. It wasn't,
Yeah.
something where they just kept kicking you around and like, yeah, I fully expected that it was going to be like, oh yeah, there's this complaint log, but it's like this mailbox that's full that no one ever monitors, and that at the end of the month they just go hit the,
Yeah,
dump all
yeah.
button, and then you never hear another peep. But no, that's cool. That's
I
Well, I
mean,
mean, I'm sorry that you're having this infection going on and that you have to be
yeah.
on horse pills in the first place and had to deal with all that. But
It's
um,
just it's like I love how like when the VA gets something right, I'm like they got something right, and then it's like, all right, the two or three things are gonna jack up here, and of course that's what's happened here is like two or three things have jacked up, and I'm like that's the VA for you. So
yeah,
ah God,
the
have
good
you?
with the bad.
Yeah. Have you talked to the VA at all lately, or have you done anything with them at all, or?
No, last thing I did with him was like the home loan. Like the only really that's the most recent thing, and that was 10 years ago now.
Oh,
So yeah,
nice. Are you disabled at all according to the VA? Out of curiosity? No.
no, I
Wow.
would like to be. No, no, yeah.
Oh, okay. The only reason why I ask is because like I remember we did like an out processing, and my buddy, Brad, who I served with actually at Ellsworth, he's the reason actually for the lady tattoo here. He was he was I think he was like at 70 or 80% disabled, like on
Hmm.
the lower end. When we got out, because like he was like, hey, let's go down to Toma, let's do our disability, because I'd been meaning to do it for some time because of my athletic induced asthma as well as my hearing loss. And like I just remember like every time I deal with the VA about anything, they're just like, what's your name, what's your social, what's your date of birth? And I always make the joke, I'm like, you're not signing me up for another 6 years, are you? And she's like, oh honey, it's only 2, don't worry about it. And it's like, that's fair. So
That's funny. Well, at least yeah, they can banter. They
yeah.
can. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it reminded me that. I'm sorry, I went off on a little tangent there.
No worries.
It-
This is your show, dude. This is what we're supposed to do.
yeah, but you're not supposed to let me take over my show. You're supposed to be on my show to like, so I don't have to talk. Like that's half
Well,
the reason why
that's
you guys are
I'm
on.
sure you've got Reddit tabs open to do some advice so we can get into the. No, you don't.
I have
Oh
nothing.
shit.
I have nothing.
Oh, well, this was a great episode.
Oh, I know, right? I was hoping like you'd have some stories or something like that. All right, we'll find something on Reddit here, and I will actually read what Reddit has to say.
Well,
So I am
come up with
curious.
the bring up a topic, and
Okay,
I'm sure that I can have some kind of opinion on it.
well let's get this stupid food off of here because I was like, oh my god, I gotta send you a redneck recipe. It looks so good. It's like the dude basically makes a taquito and it's fantastic. Ah, okay.
Okay.
So I gotta ask though, don't spoil the episodes for me because I'm gonna watch the most 3 recent episodes that you got for the Eric show. How good did you
The
do?
Evil Mark show, you mean?
The Evil Mark show. Sorry,
Yeah.
the Evil Mark show. How good did you do in your picks?
Hmm.
Okay, okay.
Which no, like how caught up are you? Like are
I have the 3 most recent episodes that have come out.
okay.
And I because
So
yeah.
you haven't listened yet to the College Football Awards show then?
No, because I
Okay.
remember I listened to the one about the championships, and
Okay.
then I don't think I listened to the next one after that. I don't know. I just like to binge you guys. You know?
Yeah, we did a College Football Awards show, which was a lot of fun.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun. And then we did the first like round of the playoffs, and we did horribly.
Okay.
Uh, and then even worse, the second round, like we both basically had taken. Well, you said don't spoil it, right?
Well, okay. You can go ahead and spoil it because you listened to Colin Cowherd.
No, I mean I know who he is,
Okay.
obviously, but I
Yeah, but if you're telling me that you did horribly, I have a feeling you went with his strategy. He picked his the typical favorites, and it.
well, we didn't go all chalk, but we did. I had taken. Well, actually, we both had taken the Packers and the Bills to meet in the Super Bowl, and obviously, neither one of them are going to be representing their respective conferences. So, and then we also kind of had taken, we thought for sure if Aaron Rodgers didn't get done, that Tom Brady would, and the Bucks would be like the NFC. And no, totally shit the bed there. I did take the Bengals to beat the Titans. He did the reverse, but then it was, yeah, I mean, I chose like all the other wrong teams that didn't get out of their games. So.
So now I do want to ask you about because I was listening to this today on a topic. Who would you want to see in the Super Bowl?
I would like, I think it would be pretty cool if it was the Bengals and 49ers. That'd be like, because that's like when I was a little kid, it was like the 1990 Super Bowl, I want to say.
Hmm.
It was the Bengals and 49ers. And I mean, that was kind of a cool matchup. And the Bengals haven't, won anything ever. I don't think they've ever won a Super Bowl. Or if they have, it's been like, decades
Hmm.
because they hadn't even won a playoff game for 18 years, I think. So I think it would be cool to see them, but I think it's going to be Kansas City against the Rams, and probably going to be Kansas City that wins it all again. But I would like to see the Bengals and Niners with the Bengals winning it.
I'm actually the inverse. I would like to see the Bengals and the Rams, just for two reasons. I have no stake in either of those two.
Mhm.
I would be cool because if the Bengals win, I think it's their first Super Bowl win ever. Because I think it'll be their second Super Bowl appearance and their first Super Bowl win, which would just
Yeah,
be banger. And then
yeah,
if you have the inverse, Matt Stafford becomes a quarterback who just needed a good team around him.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Like just mired in Detroit for years and years and years, and then yeah, that would
well,
be cool.
well, it was like you remember when Kirk Cousins got moved, right? And
Hmm.
and I was like, good. He's got a solid team around him. He's gonna be like the Vikings aren't. They aren't, Tampa Bay. They aren't, the Patriots. They aren't the Packers. They aren't a top tier team, but they have some decent people around them, and maybe Cousins can help elevate that, which a lot of quarterbacks do. And then
Hmm.
Cousins just floundered and ate more poop than ever. So I was like, okay, maybe Cousins sucks. And then it was, like I see those quarterback moves, and I'm like, that's gonna be a good move. He's got a decent, okay, decent. And Matt
Yeah,
Stafford has really shown no, Stafford is a good quarterback. He just ate shit in Detroit for fucking years because
yeah.
he's loyal for some reason.
Well, we talked about that too, Mark and I, just about like how like why were they such a dark horse? Like why was no one really talking about the Rams, considering all the talent that they've got around them? Like Cooper Cup and Odell Beckham Jr. and Dominican Sue, like all those kind of guys that they have on their team, like, and then Stafford, obviously. Why were they like kind of overlooked? Because they were going up against the Bucks, and then
Hmm.
it's like it's been who they were playing. They kind of backdoor into the playoffs, and then you think that they're going to get knocked out, and here they are with a really good shot at going to a Super Bowl. So.
Well, I mean, the now, did you see that Von Miller hit on Tom Brady where Brady wanted a flag?
Mm-mm. No.
It was such a garbage hit. Like it wasn't even that bad. Like Von Miller pulled up from the hit. He did, the bottom of his helmet caught the bottom of Tom Brady's, face mask or whatever, and Brady wanted a flag. And Brady wanted a flag bad. And I'm like, Von Miller didn't even take you to the ground. He was springboarding off of the ground to smoke you. And he stopped because he saw that it would have been a penalty. And you want a flag,
Yeah.
Brady? Shut up, old
Well,
man.
but honestly, I'm surprised that he wouldn't have gotten it because he's one of those, like
Mm-hmm.
he argument's sake, like the numbers back it up. I mean, I don't like him because he's a Michigan guy, obviously, but he's, I mean, it's hard to argue against him being the greatest of all time. And so it's like, it's kind of odd that he wouldn't get a call.
Mm-hmm. Well, it just like you if you looked at it, like I'm pretty sure their refs were like, no, we give this, we're lynched. We give you that penalty, we're gonna get lynched, and it's like, okay, relax. But yeah, I know that the Chiefs have had the Rams number all season long. I think that two or three times they've played them, they've lost. And so like that's kind of what I fear is that it's gonna be the Chiefs and the Rams, and then the Rams are just gonna get dominated by the Chiefs like the Chiefs usually do. If it's not a slobber knocker, it's the Chiefs are blowing them out. So
Yeah, I got to think that it's hard to root against. Well, not hard to root against, but hard to like bet if you're putting money down. It's probably going to be chalk. I
yeah,
think both the Rams and the Chiefs are the favorites, and so they're probably going to be the ones that make it there.
they better do blue versus red. They like. I remember talking about this with you briefly about how much of an asshole I was because of like the colorblind people that like can't really differentiate between like a red uniform and a blue uniform. That's why they don't ever do those colors. But motherfucker, they better do it. Like they
On
better.
the biggest stage that there is, yeah, just
Yeah.
completely piss off like half of well, not half the population. That would be a lot of colorblind people, but
Oh, my boss is colorblind. He can't see green, and he's in the lawn care industry. So you tell me how that
oh my
works.
God, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
I did, I've never had it like properly explained. Like one of the engineers that I worked with for a long, long time, he finally retired. but he was, I think it was red color blind,
Hmm.
and I never really had it properly explained. Like, what do you actually see at like a traffic light? Like, how do you differentiate? Like, I mean, like, what does it even look like? I don't even understand like what they see if they can't see red, because then you're not seeing like any shade
Hmm.
of red
It
either. Like,
Well, like it is like the way it's been explained to me is that it's a color. Like they see it's green, but it's not to them. It may be like a purple or a bluish hue, or it might just be a different hue color. And then sometimes it's like a lighter gray. If
hmm.
I'm sure if you looked it up, like they have little slideshows that are like this is what this is what it looks like. So
I've always wondered about those, like not only just like the colorblind stuff, but also like the you see the things that like how an animal sees, like they say show a picture of like what a cat sees like still versus what a cat sees in motion. I'm like, how the fuck do they know? It's like do they vet a cat and be like, hey, Fluffy, is this really what you see? And they're like, meow. Yes. Like, how do they, you know what I mean? Like, how do they know? Like, at best, it's like it's a scientific hypothesis based
mhm.
on, oh, like they did anatomical structures or surgeries or whatever to see like, oh, this is how much light comes into the cone, and so like they can maybe extrapolate from that. But how do they know 1,000% that's really what their vision looks like? I've always been really curious of that. And then they say about like the reptiles or whatever, and the birds that can see uh like the in the different spectrum, and they can see. I'm completely losing what the hell it is, but
Yeah, like
yeah, it's like how do they know?
they see like thousands more colors than we do because of the
Yeah,
spectrums or whatever.
and that they can tell like the magnetic poles. That's how they navigate and stuff and whatever. It's like how do they know that?
Well, I think because like did I ever tell you like how they figured out birds migrated in like the 1800s or like 1700s or some shit like that? Yeah.
No.
So like apparently people used to just think that like birds just disappeared during the winter. Like they just up and left. Like they just disappeared off the face of the earth. And it wasn't until like a crane or like somebody came back with like an African spear in its neck that they're like, oh,
Jesus.
they go to other places. And so
First
like
of all, like how the hell did it fly? Like with a spear in its neck? Jesus.
Dude, I don't know, but like it was just crazy because they're like, yeah, there was like a bird that had a spear in its neck, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, birds migrate, and there's other places in the world, and the world's not just flat. I was like, that makes sense for like the 1800s. But yeah, that's like a really dumbed down version of how we figured
Totally.
out birds migrate.
Yeah, I just was so shook too about seeing like the fact like George Washington never knew about the existence of dinosaurs because they didn't find the first like fossil until after he was already dead. I'm like, that was the first president of the country. Like America was already a country. Like we already had beaten Britain in the War of Independence before they realized that there was dinosaurs. Like what the fuck? How is that? How is that a thing? That's just it's crazy. Some of those, like time is a flat circle kind of facts that it's just like. And what was the one about Cleopatra had been dead for? Or no, it's closer. Modern age is closer to Cleopatra's birth than her birth to the creation of the pyramids, like the
Yeah,
Great Pyramid of Giza. Like,
it's
isn't
so
that's insane?
God. That's like I love seeing those I don't even want to call them mind blowing facts anymore. I want to call them like mind fuck facts because like you look at it, you're like. Because like that one thing, it's like if Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr. were alive today, they'd be like the same age, and you're like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, like how can that be true?
Yeah, like you look at the like it's weird how we view facts nowadays, isn't it? God, that's so weird. Ah, I do have a good Reddit though one.
Oh, excuse me.
You're
Okay.
good. Should I donate sperm to my sister and her fiance?
No.
My
Next.
so my sister, who is 39, asked me, her younger brother, who is 35, to be a sperm donor for her and her fiance. So my sister was married for 10 plus years to a man. To a man she had three of her own children with. After the divorce, she got into a relationship with a woman, and they have, for the most part, been in a healthy relationship ever since. Over the past few months, the two of them have been talking about another child, and I was recently approached and then asked if I would donate sperm to a clinic where her partner would be artificially inseminated. I said I would likely, I said I likely would, and didn't think much about it. However, I have now been contacted by numerous family members telling me that it would be a mistake and would likely damage the child when they found out who their biological father was. Reddit, I'm torn on the thing to do. Part of me wants to help out my sister and her girlfriend, but part of me understands there could be unintended consequences down the road.
Yeah. Okay. So now,
You thought that was going in a different direction.
for sure, I thought for sure that it was like that his sister was gonna carry it. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's kind of what I thought too, and then I was like, no, nobody in Reddit is that stupid.
really, really,
Okay, I've read some dumb ones before, but I was like, no way is it that
come on.
up. No way does it.
We've read some dumb ones on the show that we've
Yeah,
discussed.
it's been upvoted and it's got a lot of comments. So to me, that tells me that it was a decent one. I was like, I should probably read here, but
That is tricky. Like, yeah, the what he was saying about, like the kid, because inevitably he's gonna ask, when he comes of age or whatever, the like, who's my father, and then to find out, oh, it's Uncle Jimmy. That's a little weird, but I mean, I guess obviously if the sister is okay with it, like enough to ask, and the partner is okay with it, then ultimately it's their child that they're going to raise, and like it's not really in the business of the other family members. So it's
I mean, yeah, like once the child comes of age, of course he's gonna be like, "Who's my dad?" It's gonna be like, "Oh, Uncle Timmy." Oh, that's kind of cool. Um, but then he's probably gonna have the question be like, "Wait, who gave birth to me?" Get
yeah.
that Alabama moment. But dude, I'd say go for it. Like if your sister's in a healthy enough relationship with their girlfriend to where they're thinking about having a child, like that says a lot about how far they are into a relationship,
Hmm.
and that tells me that she might be ready. Like
Well, theoretically, yes. I mean, I see
theoretically,
what you're saying. Like,
theoretically, yeah.
yes, if they're upstanding citizens and they really do have their shit together, because that's typically the case. But there are
Mm.
a certain faction of people that are just like, I can get more money from the government if I pop out a kid, or there's definitely those kind of people too that aren't really don't have the child's best interest in mind. It's like a self-serving kind of thing, or they treat children like as an accessory, where it's just like, oh, like everybody, all my friends are having children, so I should have a child too. And it's like, oh, I actually got to raise this fucking thing for the next 18 plus years. It's like, yeah, it's
Some of those spoiled Reddit, like it was like there was a Reddit question that was out there. I listened to those read Reddits every once in a while, and one of the questions I think I remember was, when did you realize that your rich friend was out of touch? And like they were like, yeah, talking about how like easy it was to raise my a nanny was like talking to her rich friend that she nannied for, and like the nanny was like listening to the mom rant. It's like, oh, it's so easy to be a mom, blah 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 blah, and the nanny was just sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm raising this kid for you. So
yeah,
um
exactly.
nice. So I have another one here. A 26
Okay.
a 26-year-old man, pizza man 95, actually says, how do I calm my nerves before sex? So I, a 26-year-old, I'm 26. Last time I had sex was literally 6 years ago. I've got a beautiful woman I met recently asking me to come over for fun, but I'm shaking to the point I can barely stand. I head over in an hour, and this post is an hour old.
Oh no.
I don't smoke or drink, both of which I heard help the issue. But what can I do without these options? The last attempt I had at having it was 3 years ago. I was shaking so badly I couldn't get it up. I left humiliated.
Oh no.
Thankfully, I didn't know her, or the embarrassment could have been worse. I vowed I'd never repeat such again. But yeah, so he hasn't had it in six. He hasn't had sex in 6 years. My hat is off to you, sir. Um, and he gets like panic attacks. Okay, man.
That's rough.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know. Hopefully, I guess unfortunately, if there's a follow up in the next 20 minutes, we'll know.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm subscribed to it and I'm following it because I want to know. Um, I mean, like it's kind of every because like I've had this happen to me a few times where like I go like months without it, or even like now like 2 years without it because I'm that great at getting a girlfriend or what have you. But like to me, it's just like you just like set the expectation. Be like, look, it's been I'm like, cause like I'll approach a girl and I'm like, look, it's been 2 years. I can't guarantee you anything. And then she's like,
Hmm.
oh no, that's cute, that's fair. And she's like, I'll take that as a compliment. I was like, okay, because that's how most women are gonna react. You know, they're just gonna be like, oh really? So I'm the first in like 2 years, and they're like, usually they're like, well, like nothing. I'm like, look, you're my first kiss in like a year and a half, so yeah, pretty much, you know. And so a lot of women are they'll actually probably take a lot of pride in the fact that you rocket it, you know, little bottle rocket, pew, you know, like they'll probably take that as a sense of pride, be like, I'm so good, yeah. But dude, just
Yeah, like you'll get the free pass, you know, that certainly
mhm.
the first time, and then if it goes on, you know, like we're like certainly like if a relationship continues or there's other instances and it continues to happen like that, then you'll notice that the free pass dries up and it's no longer like cute.
um, you could get a product called Load Stack made for you by the great guys at PKA. Load Stack PKA. They make it. Go check it out. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because I feel derogatory and dirty talking to you about it. But I would highly encourage you to all listen to PKA and check out their Load Stack. So you're waiting for an explanation, aren't you?
No, I mean, I think it's explanation enough, just like in the name, and it's just like, okay, no further details required.
There have been some great testimonials that they've read, and Kyle, who is their
I bet.
local ladies man, like this guy gets like a girl like he could pull a girl, he pulls girls on Tinder like it's nobody's business, and he's had a lot of positive results. So I'm like, maybe, maybe. Oh, here we go. Teacher stopped calling me my preferred name after it being used. What the fuck? Teacher stopped calling me my preferred name after it being in use since start of school. Help. I'm 16 in junior high school. But to do. However, since about 3 weeks ago, she stopped calling me my preferred name, instead opting for my birth name. This is really confusing because she's really only ever called me by my preferred name except for the first 2 days of school. All of my assignments, quizzes, tests, etc. are put under my preferred name. She's called on me and read out my responses to assignments probably 15 times in the last week using my birth name. Oh,
Hmm.
I wonder if they're giving us a justification for everything. She's confused why they're doing it. I'm not seeing what her preferred name is versus what her real name is. I'm assuming by the little emoji here. Um, yeah, I don't know. How would you feel about that? Like someone's birth name versus their preferred name.
Yeah, it sounds definitely weird because they initially had like agreed to calling them what by their preferred name, right? It's just like after they, because it's ostensibly it was like okay, they called them by their birth name, and then the person said, "I don't like that. I would prefer to be called this," and then that teacher was calling them by that for a length of time, right? That's what I'm getting out of that, and now that's not happening, and they're kind of like confused as to why or what to do about it.
Yeah, like
Um,
the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm guessing it's either like I don't know, the parents got involved and said like, no, we don't want Brenda to be called, you know, Patty. We want
Mm-hmm.
we want her to be called Brenda or whatever it is. Or just like a mass like insensitivity on the part of the teacher. It's really like I could see like a really old curmudgeon being like, "No, kids are called whatever their names on their fucking certificate and this and that," and you know, and just like taking the hardline stance from the onset. But the fact that they had like relented and were kind of like playing ball with the kid for them to do like a 180 now seems really odd. So.
This Variety 16751 is trans. Finally found it like a mile down here. I'm trans, thumbs up, and I don't think of this as some serious groundbreaking issue or anything. Just wanted to ask for a quick advice on how to approach it. So apparently, this individual, he or she, I'm assuming it's a she again by the emoji here. I know, what is that, deadpanning or something like that they call it? Dead naming? There we go,
Dead
dead naming,
naming,
yeah.
yeah.
I know I'm probably dead sexing them, I guess, if that's the term there. But you know Elon Musk's kid's name?
It's something. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. How do you even pronounce it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it. But like, see, that's kind of where I draw the line. Is it's like, if tomorrow, Eric, you're like, oh, I'm a girl now, and my name is Stephanie. Cool. Hi, Stephanie. How you doing? Like, that's super chill and easy for me to do. But
Hmm.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is that like, did they transition halfway through the year? Were they transitioning at the beginning of the year? Is it some crazy kind of like, like the thing that I'm big on, excuse me, is that like if you're fully committed to something, I will fully commit to you. But if you're not fully committed and it feels kind of like you're doing maybe a stunt, that may be why the teacher's pulling it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
love how a lot of people are like, I don't get why they're doing this. Fucking ask them. Just ask them. Why is that so hard to do? Just be like, hey, you know I'm Stephanie now, not Jared, right? Yeah, then why are you calling me Jared? Call me Stephanie.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like it's especially that young. Like I don't know. I would say like certainly once you reach like college age, that should be a thing. Like you should be firmly cemented in how you feel and how you're presenting to the world and like expect like having that expectation that people are going to treat you the way that you see yourself, but
Hmm.
like in junior high, like are you even young enough yourself to know like fully like are like you had said like for like an attention kind of thing, or are you
Hmm.
just thinking that it's cool or it's popular and like oh I want to be different, it's like maybe the teacher is kind of just like no, you're some 12-year-old kid or whatever. You're too fucking young and stupid to be making that decision on your own.
Hmm.
Like, wait until you actually know what the fuck you're talking about before, expecting me to, label you a certain way. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, God. Wow. Sorry, I found one that says harsh feedback needed. Would appreciate it a lot. And it's like 5 paragraphs. And it's like, okay, no.
harsh feedback though. We could do that.
Yeah, harsh. Oh, God. I don't want to read the whole thing. Is
Fuck
like,
off.
yeah, you know what? Fucking condense your goddamn post here.
Yeah, at
Net
least have like a
income.
TLDR for fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
Net income gummies. Fucking give me a TLDR. I don't want to have to like if I like that's what I hate about some of these advice stories is fucking your advice should be meh. Like that guy's title. You know, like the should I donate sperm to my sister? Okay, bro, like maybe there needs to be a little bit, but like he clarified in like a little paragraph. Like that's all you need. If you need a whole fucking backstory for your advice, dude, fuck off and ask your friends that already know. Come on, man. Got a little upsetty spaghetti there. I
I'm
apologize.
still I'm still really shook at that one that we did last time where it was like the guy asking like how do you quietly open a soda can? Like I'm just gonna sit here clacking away on my laptop waiting for an answer instead of just like taking my shirt or going out into another room and opening the soda can. Like how fucking dumb are you that you need to go on Reddit to ask that kind of shit? Like that I'm just amazed, appalled.
I'm a yes, sir. I'm appalled. I'm very appalled. All I can think is like I apologize, but all I can think is the guy like, and he's clickety clacking on his keyboard, and you're like, dude, you
Exactly.
fucking like, because like I think
Yeah.
everybody on the internet's got like a mechanical keyboard nowadays, and yeah. Oh my god.
And then I could just even envision too, like waiting for like notifications to pop up and having like an audio cue. So like every time that there's a new comment, it's like ding, 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 ding. It's like just open the fucking can.
Oh my god. Oh my yeah. Just like, dude, you might as well open it now. Your parents already know you're awake. Jesus. Um. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. My friend's simping hard right now. All right. My friend, for a few years, got a girlfriend last summer. Back then, there's a great balance. Sure, most of his time he's with her, but like 25% of the time, he was with our friend group. Before he had a bunch of failed relationships and stuck by him. Um, he even tried to get with one of our friends, like dating exes. It's whatever. Oh, whatever. That went weird. And the group has always stuck with him through everything because everyone's just kind of laid back. But for the past like 2 months, he's only hangs out with his girlfriend every damn day. On at least, on one hand, you can hang out with who you want. On the other hand, can't you at least find some days for us? This is very horribly written. They're always with each other. I'm sure a lot of people have witnessed stuff like this, but am I an asshole for wanting some time with my friend? So I don't know. Would you call that simping though? Like if he's spending all his waking time with his girlfriend and stuff like that now?
No, I call that a relationship, and I think that there's a level of expectation that should be, especially in a new relationship. Well, I mean, does it sound like they're young though? Like, does it say how young or how, old they are in the post? I mean, that definitely sounds like a jealousy kind of thing, like a junior high or high school kind of deal where it's like, Jimmy, you won't play Black Ops with me anymore. So you know what I mean? You're like,
I'm like, yeah. Uh, I don't know. I just, dude, like just like talk to your friend. Like literally, I've hit up my buddy Alex like thousands of times, or like I'll send you a text message, and like it's just like, okay, I want to talk with Eric. Like I just want to I want to talk with you. I want to like, dude, like, hey, let's go for a walk now, or like, hey, can like 2 weekends from now, like, what are you doing this weekend? What are you doing next weekend? Just ask your buddy for some time. Like, yeah, that's gonna be a brand new relationship, especially if he has had a bunch that have failed and he's like head over heels for her. Like, dude, like
yeah,
you're
for
gonna have to
sure.
get used to it. Like that's just how it's gonna be for a little bit until they get like really comfortable, or they're gonna be that couple that's always doing shit together. You
Right,
know?
even with the best of intentions, like a new relationship, it's like it's brand new, and so like
Mm-hmm.
you do want to spend like every waking moment with that person. It's like, I mean, I've been with my wife for 20 years, and we're still that way. Like we want to spend like we're perfectly fine just having it just our own little bubble and just being with only each other. But it's like, yeah, for that friend to have any kind of expectation, like they need to realize that in a new relationship, like that's those people are going to want to spend every waking moment with each other, and he's going to have to take a back burner. Like the best thing that he can do as a friend is just kind of just be there. And like if the other person starts being like really shitty about it,
Mm-hmm.
like completely like blowing him off entirely and like not even returning phone calls or texts or whatever, and then that's a different circumstance. But if it's just like he doesn't have all that same time to devote to his friend group as he does to this relationship, that you need to understand that, because this person is probably going to be the exact same way when they get in a relationship,
Yeah.
and then they're going to have someone ostensibly writing that same kind of thing about them, like Billy won't play back lots with me because it's like it comes with the territory.
Dude, just like the best thing that I can always say is just like set a time for your friends, like how we do this once a month. You're gonna tell me, hey, I've got time available on this Friday, and then we sit down, we do this podcast, and this is our little catch up, our once a month hangout. And I mean that works perfectly fine for me because I know that you have a life. You have two dogs, you have plenty of cats, you've got a wife, you've got a very good job that blown itself up. And I'm like, yeah, I play video games and I sometimes work, so like,
Well,
I get it.
speaking of which, I was going
Hmm.
to ask you, because I know that you've been playing Diablo 3 with Gaio.
Hmm.
You still have a PlayStation 4, don't you? Or
Sitting
do you
right over
not?
there. Yeah, sitting. Why?
Diablo 2 Resurrected, we could play together. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm assuming you're playing Diablo 3 on PC.
yep, on the PC.
Okay.
I'm playing on the
Yeah.
PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me check out and see what Diablo 2 Resurrect is, and I might have to get into that, and we could definitely play a bunch of that together. That would be actually kind of nice. Um, I think you can hook up mouse and keyboard to a PlayStation 4. I'm almost 100% positive you
Yes,
can. Okay,
you
you
can.
can. That would be nice because I do not do so well trying the controller stuff. Like I did a-okay playing through Spider-Man. so so I gotcha.
Well, because Diablo 2 was originally a PC game, and then this is like a port, so it's
Hmm.
like the spells and everything, they have it really mapped out really well, so it
Okay.
works wonderfully on controller. But I
Okay.
mean, I'm sure native mouse and keyboard would be probably your preferred setup or
Yeah, it
whatever.
might be.
So
I'll have to. I'll definitely check into that because Gaio said that he wanted to play some Diablo with me. We would do like a dual live stream or something like that, and it just turned out that we're just messing around playing last night we were what was the greater rifts or whatever. Like we're just doing kind of like a bunch of end game stuff because like
mm-hmm.
I got a little too into it, and there have been many sleepless nights where I've power leveled. Like I'm ranked 70 with like 125 Paragon points or something crazy like that. So yeah, and that's
Yeah,
only
it's easy to get sucked into those games. It's like that's
yeah,
all I've been playing since Diablo 2 came out in September, I want to say. So
really
I pre-ordered it and everything, and it's like since it came out, like that's literally all I've been playing.
okay.
So it's like it's super easy to get sucked right back in, and just like even that time you're sitting there like kind of nodding off, falling asleep, and you're just like, I'm so close to leveling up. I'm just gonna go until I level up, and it's just like, oh, that was like 3 levels ago.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like I'm just gonna go until I beat this next quest. Oh, well then you finish the entire act, and it's yeah, they're hell of a lot of fun. I
It
love
is
those
fun.
games, and
Yeah, it was. I think it was Wednesday night. I was playing, and I was like, I'll finish it. I'll finish it. And I look over and I was like, it's 3 a.m. All right, I need to
Jesus,
quit. And
yeah.
so, yeah, I got you. Yeah, that I love that about that. I love that about the game. Um, I how is it like $20? Is it full price? Is it
When I bought it, it was full price. I don't know if it's been on sale or what it's at now. I think
okay?
I bought it at 30, I want to say.
Okay, that's not bad then. That's not bad. Yeah, the only reason why I ask is because I work in sales, and a lot of what I make is based off commissions. I had rough few weeks here, so maybe next month or something. We'll see what happens. I gotta figure out what's going on with that sales stuff. I either my check was wrong, or I didn't do as good as I thought I did. So we would just we'll have to see coming up here, but
Gotcha. No worries. I mean,
that would be nice. That would be
I,
nice.
so are you like on strictly commission?
No, it's like a base pay plus commission is what it is. It's like when it gets hot though, it's hot. Like I've had a couple of checks where like I was making what I used to make in the factory, and then I've had a few that are like just a little shy of it. But like when you have like an off week or something like that, it really bumps you down because our base pay is really low.
Mm.
I do have a interview or a semi small talk on Monday though at like 9:30 with a different position where I think I'm going to be getting paid a lot more, but I also get commission on top of it. But it seems like I might have a lot of travel that I have to do. So,
Oof. Within the same company, I assume, right?
no, for a different company
Oh, oh,
actually.
okay.
Yeah, no, it's just like the last few weeks, like I've really remembered why I hated the call center jobs. It's kind of been a little bit of a nightmare. Just like you get told one thing by somebody and that's incorrect by the other person. It's like, man, come on now. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like the way, because like I was supposed to talk to her actually this morning, but then I guess I had no reception for whatever dumb reason. My phone didn't ring. All of a sudden, I got a voicemail like an hour later, and then I got a text message at the same time. And she's like, "Hey, sorry I missed you." Blah blah blah. I just want to make sure you were still interested. I was like, my phone didn't even ring. I was like, that's super unprofessional of me. But yeah, I was like, I'd love to, I'll make sure that I'm up and around because I thought it was weird. I didn't get a phone call this morning. But yeah, so it's a little bit different. It's still technically sales. But the way she worded it, she said, "You are salaried at this a week," and I like that word salaried. But I also get
Yeah.
commission on top of everything else, and the way that the pay is structured is weekly, and I prefer getting paid weekly instead of biweekly. So,
Yeah, that's cool. That would be nice.
so
But
th-
you said it would involve like travel, like within the state or like
I think
out
it
of the
would.
state, or
Yeah, I think it would. I think it would be commissioned for within a local area, and one of the local areas that it's about 20 minutes away from where I'm at. So I think like a little bit of a journey wouldn't be too bad because that's kind of what I was making at the factory, to be honest with you. The per week thing. So like I could totally do it with a 20-minute drive. 20-30 minute drive to be in my work area is not too bad. And if they're still providing by the COVID restrictions, Could be good.
Hmm.
Could be good. We'll see what happens. But there's a lot that I got to work on because like I forget who she's with. Dude, I threw out like 20 resumes one day. I was just like so fed up with everything. I was just like, here's my resume, and I got like a bunch of emails and texts back. And my first question is always, I'm like, look, I need to know what the pay is going to be first before I move any further. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. What's the pay? And
Yeah.
if the pay's
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
That's a good, yeah. They might think that that's bold or too forward or whatever, but it's like you got to take care of yourself, you know. Like that's what I've realized that there's no you can be as loyal as you want to the company. They're not, you know, that loyal to you. I mean, it's you got to look out for a number one. So,
Well, like I've been in a call center environment now for 8 years, and it's you know like I remember when I joined on for the travel stuff when I sold travel insurance, they're like you're getting paid like $3 more than anybody else's because of your call center experience, and I'm like I know what my experience is worth. I may not be that good in sales. You know, sales, I might have to reach around with that, but like, you know, you're getting somebody who's going to learn the system and be real quick with it. And sure enough, I was one of the first people, like within 2 weeks, I got a perfect score on my QCs, and I was doing really, really good. So I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. The ladies might not want to pay for it, but you know,
so speaking of, I don't know if you want to get if you wanted to talk about that.
what's up?
If you wanted to talk about your latest excursion and how that's going, or if you wanted to keep that part of your life kind of off the pod, I could completely understand.
Oh no, it was good. We had a nice visit. There were some precursors to the visit that weren't so pretty. She had a life event that kind of happened. She lost a relative kind of like that morning. But she was like, I want to get out of the house. I just want to spend some time away. And she was like, as much as I would like to do this one certain thing, because it was funny. She had made a point to say that she didn't get laid on her birthday. And I was like, I got it in day one. All right, nice. I can break the cycle. And she was like, hey, this is totally not happening. I was like, I was not expecting it with that news. But we had a really chill. We chilled out. It was nice to just hang out with her, and she was just all around fun person. It was funny because I was like, hey, am I going to see you again? And she's like, oh, most definitely. I was like, all right, cool. So
That's great.
and she literally drives by my place like once a week. So I was like, hey, this is, if you want to stop on your way here, by all means, let me know. We haven't talked too much in the last couple of days. She's been running around like a mad woman. So, but you know, that's to be expected when someone's super, super busy. So
Yeah, no, that's cool.
yeah, we'll see how that turns out. She's not the typical person that I would date just because she's very aggressive, I guess is the term that I would use. Like she's a very dominant female, you know?
Okay.
And I haven't dated many of those. So I know that that's something I kind of wanted to explore.
Yeah, well, maybe you'll find that that's what you need in your life.
We'll see. We'll see in a little bit. We'll see what happens with it. Yeah. We'll see what happens. So I am curious then. Shit, I had it and then I lost it. I'm really good at that. I'm really, really good at that. I had it and then I lost it. I had it and then I lost it. God damn it. Damn it, Eric. It's your fault.
Sorry, man.
No, it's okay. I had another good question lined up. I had another question lined up, and I thought it was really, really dumb. Whoa. What the fuck? Oh, okay. What okay, the lady's blowing me up. All of a sudden I had like 10 notifications on my phone. I was like, all right, whatever. I don't know what's going on there. But no, like I had a thought. I had an advice question, and it was like a really dumb advice. Like it's like like he kind of screwed up a little bit. And then you asked me,
Okay.
and then like I thought of something, and okay, it was gone. All right, so final advice question here then, I guess, because I know you
Okay.
love doing these. So this guy's dating a guy's in a long-term relationship with a Muslim woman. The only reason why I bring that up is because alcohol is forbidden via their religion. He though
Yeah.
is not Muslim. He ended up going out. He says he doesn't drink often, but he went out to a bar, feels super guilty about it. And when he was drunk, he called his girlfriend and basically told her that he got drunk at a show where he was buying like artist drinks and stuff like that. My question is, what kind of advice would you give somebody like that who does kind of like to partake in the alcohol every once in a while, but is dating someone where in their via their religious beliefs is alcohol is forbidden?
Hmm. Well, I mean, I guess if it proceeded and it went to like a cohabitation kind of thing, it's like, well, how dependent is this person on alcohol? Like, are they just drinking when they're friends? Is it just a social kind of thing, or he went out to a show and he had a couple drinks or whatever? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if he's getting drunk, like, if is that like a typical thing? Certainly, if it, like I said, if it becomes like a cohabitation kind of thing where like it wouldn't be okay to have alcohol in the house or whatever because of the like religious views, then are they going to be is the girlfriend going to be pissy if he does go out once a month with a buddy and have a few drinks? Is it like that kind of thing, like even though you don't share the same religion you have to live up to the same kind of standards of like keeping like uh, I don't know. I don't know that that expectation should be had by anybody. Like unless it's something that he's talking about, you know, converting or something. Then why why would it be an issue?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. Is like, there's a reason why. Like, I know my dating pool is so small. This is kind of the most relevant thing that I have. It's like I know what I'm looking for in a lady, and when you know what you're looking for, if there's any sort of like compromise, like that's why. Like I love reading women's profiles. Like a lot of women don't think that I read profiles or that guys do read profiles. It gives me a little idea of who you are. And I can almost assuredly, I would say, 75% of the time, know exactly what kind of person you are based off of your profile photos and what you're looking for. And if she's not into drinking alcohol or alcohol is forbidden and you're not willing to become a Muslim, the biggest
Hmm.
thing that I would say is that you probably need to think real hard and long about what your future is going to be like, either with her or without her. Because I mean, you're 100% correct. If you're not willing to, if you're not willing to convert, there we go, that's the word I was looking for. If you're not willing to convert and you're not willing to, like an alcohol as a social lubricant that you like to have with your buddies once a week or once a month, dude, she's either gonna have to be totally okay with it and you're gonna have to learn how not to feel guilty about it, or you
Hmm.
might find yourself looking for a new girlfriend
Yeah.
because you know what you we just talked about it, know your own worth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but I gotta think that I don't know how close she is with her family or whatever, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure that that's going to be frowned on, and like he's probably feeling guilty based on that. That just like the stigma and the shame that kind of like surrounds it, just based off what her beliefs are. So it's like it almost sounds as if he's kind of like being indoctrinated in that, and it's like if he's not willing to make that kind of lifestyle choice, like you almost like that's a huge commitment, that to just be like I'm gonna swear off alcohol entirely, and then I'm also not gonna eat like pork, and I'm like I'm gonna have to pray multiple times a day. That's a huge commitment to have to try to like convert for the sake of like a relationship. Like, I mean, would she be willing to do the same? It sounds like not, because it sounds like she's probably, really strictly adhering to her like belief system. So it's like if there's not that give and take, because there has to be a give and take in all relationships, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if there's not that same kind of give and take, if she's only demanding of something and he's the one that has to make all the sacrifices, then that's like not a relationship that you should be pursuing, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
100%. 100% agree on that. Couldn't have said it better myself. Now,
We're advice experts.
we are very much advice experts. Now, I do have a final question here, just because I've noticed that the longer I am turned on, as I call it, when I pump myself up before a podcast, I get like excited. I listen to some heavy death metal or something like that, and I am very very subdued outside of this podcast. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I am very just and just kind of you know so my question to you is to finish this out here. How do you feel about the new Moon Knight series on Disney Plus? Have you seen the trailer? Are you excited about it? Do you know?
I've not seen the trailer at all. I've been trying to avoid anything and everything about it. Like I honestly, I have not even started the What If series yet. We did finish Hawkeye. Obviously, we're caught up on everything else with the exception of What If. So
Okay.
we still haven't seen that, and I haven't seen anything related to Moon Knight.
Okay.
But
I
yeah, I'm not that like precious about spoilers or whatever. So
okay.
if it's something that you want to talk about, then you can lay it out there.
Oh no, I was just kind of saying because like the premise of Moon Knight, it seems like they are taking that very R-rated approach where they're like, going to be true to what Moon Knight was, just like they've been
That's
true
cool.
to what to Deadpool was. But like you ever find somebody that you're just like, nope, that embodies a person. Like they're supposed to be that neurotic and crazy in the comics, and that's what they're. You're like, fuck, you nailed it on the head here. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I
That
don't even know who's playing Moon Knight. Like I haven't even seen any of the casting or anything like that. So
yeah. No, I remember seeing the trailer and then doing a little bit of research, just slightly on it by talking to the one and only Alex, who I go to for all of my stuff, and I'm
yeah,
just
the
talking,
expert.
yeah, the expert, talking to him about it, and he's like, yeah, he's supposed to be a neurotic guy with like a split personality and da 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 da, and I did a small little bit of research online, and
Yeah.
it's just like I was like, no, he nailed that fucking character right up
No,
front,
the
like.
character's super cool. Well, now I
Yeah.
need to see who's actually cast as in
It's
the role.
like he's a really well known guy. Oh, and Ethan Hawke is in it too.
What?
Yeah, Ethan Hawke is in it.
No kidding.
He's playing
I
a
don't.
cult leader. I think it's a cult leader. I don't know. I'm not 100%
Oscar
sure.
Isaac?
Yeah, Oscar
Oscar
Isaac.
Isaac?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, watch the trailer. Just watch the
Holy
trailer.
cow. Wow, that's really cool because he's Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
He's really cool. I like him. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ethan Hawke and holy cow.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, I had not sought out anything. I mean, I know the character and I knew that this was coming, but I had not sought out anything. So I hadn't seen a trailer. I didn't look at the casting. I'm pretty stoked about that now. That's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I would highly encourage you to watch the trailer. You look at the trailer and you're just like, "Fuck, it's like I'm all ready for it." Like I think it's like March is when it comes out, of February or March. I'm like, "Yep, on it. Let's do it." I'm already excited
Nice.
for it. So, well,
Yeah. Well, so I mean, like the most recent one, you guys had the spoiler where you're talking about Hawkeye up
mhm,
until the final episode. Like the final episode hadn't aired yet. So I don't know if
yeah.
you guys do talk about it on Shorts and Hoodies that I haven't just gotten to it yet, or have you did see the finale,
I did
right?
see the finale. Yeah,
Okay.
it was. It wasn't as grandiose as I thought it would be, but it was a nice little subtle nod to the future of where things are headed. So
Yeah, I started out not really. I wasn't sold on her like as an actor, Haley
Haley,
Steinfeld.
whatever,
Yeah,
Haley.
and so I didn't know. I was like, man, she's gonna be like the next Hawkeye. Like I don't know if she's a good enough Kate Bishop, and
Hmm.
like I was fully on board with her by the end. Yeah, I was won over. I really liked the Yelena bit. And
Hmm.
yeah, I saw what you were saying, where it's like enough was enough. It got kind of like cringy, like you were saying, where she kept calling it. Like the first couple times, it was kind of like cute, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's what she does. It's like a character quirk kind of thing. And
Hmm.
then the longer it drug on, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, that's enough is enough. That you've kind of run that joke into the ground a little bit, but yeah, no, I thought it was well cast and well acted, and I was sold on her role at the end, and yeah, I'm kind of excited about the future.
I'm excited to see where they go with it. Like it's hard handing the reins over to somebody else new. Like that's the biggest thing is like when you know that that's coming and you have to hand the
Hmm.
reins over to somebody else. I think the way that Disney's doing it, I mean, with how they've been able to hammer out a lot of the like they've just been able to hammer a lot of the cast and crew out, and it's been I think it's phenomenal. I think it's fantastic how they do that, and I'm excited. I'm just excited to see what comes next for the Marvel universe. I mean, Spider-Man: Far From Home was really good, or No Way Home, whatever the most
No Way
recent.
Home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No Way Home. Have knocked it out of the fucking park. Just
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yes, that was not only in my mind. I'm sure it's still relatively new, so to want to give like major spoilers, but yeah, not only one of my favorite like MCU movies, but just one of the like my favorite movies in general. Like I was kind of mad that we didn't go back to the theater to see it a
Mm.
second time. Like I wanted it to, go back like the very next day to see it again. It was, yeah, it's that good of a movie. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I like all the Marvel shows, though. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a really nice, interesting way for them to flesh out characters that didn't kind of get their own like enough kind of screen time because Hawkeye was he was played by Jeremy Renner, who was a really good actor and super popular, but just he was vastly overshadowed in the Avengers, and rightfully so because there were so many other cooler characters that he had to take kind of center stage, and so he kind of did get the short end of the stick, and so it was nice. Like, I mean, I think I don't know you've mentioned it. Like the Black Widow movie was good, but it came out like far too late. Like it should have come out like years earlier or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same kind of thing with Hawkeye. Like it would have had more like gravitas, like the scenes that he had with ScarJo as Black Widow.
Well,
Natasha. Like it,
the
if they would
timing,
have like,
yeah,
yeah,
the timing of Black Widow, just because there was no urgency, there was no fear of what happens next. Because like if it would
hmm
have been in between Infinity War and Endgame, that would have been cool, where like you got to see the in between of something. I think like Hawkeye was good. The Hawkeye series was good. It just, in my opinion, it's a nice way to hand it off. And I like how they poke fun of it. They're like, nobody knows who you are. And he's like, yeah, that's how I like it. And she's like, no,
yeah.
you got to be known. And I like how they poked fun at, how Hawkeye just never had that presence. So,
Yeah, that was cool. That was a conscious thing that he was always, kind of trying to, be behind the scenes. But I really love how the entire series started out, where it was just like, these random citizens that were affected by, like the alien invasion,
mm-hmm.
and like how that shaped like her entire uh life path going forward was
Yeah.
just like the fact is like seeing him as a normal dude, just with a bow and arrow taking on like space aliens.
Mm.
That's it. That was incredible, and I really liked what they did with the character, and really cool. I see what you're saying about like Black Widow. There was like really no stakes whatsoever because like well nothing bad's going to happen to her because she's in subsequent films that take place afterwards,
Yeah.
so there's like really no. That's why like we really liked American Horror Story,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if you've watched any of those, but there was one season, I don't know, like the fourth or fifth season or something, and it was like in the bayou or something, and it was like this haunted house story, and it was like a documentary kind of thing where they're like interserping like interviews with the people that survived it, and it's like, well, you completely ruined the entire premise of the show because every time you're showing them in any kind of like danger, you know that they're going to get out of it because they're doing a fucking interview. Like it's
Yeah.
there's no stakes whatsoever. Like
Yeah.
I can't feel any kind of compassion or fear for these people and characters because I know that they survive.
Yeah.
Like that, so it was just like, who did the editing of this? Are they complete morons? Do they not know how suspense works? It was just, and so it's the same, to your point, the same kind of thing with like Black Widow. Like there's no stakes because you know that she's okay.
Yeah. I mean, shit. The History Channel did it with the Iraq, the invasion of Iraq. There was a documentary about some Cobra pilots, right? And they kept talking about this one pilot, and I was like, he's not showing up. He's not showing up. He's gonna be dead. And then they talk about the part where he gets attacked and like he's shot twice, and like he actually passes out in the chopper as they're getting back to base. And then all of a sudden you hear this new voice, and you're like, who the fuck? Oh my god, it's the Colonel. The Colonel's okay. The Colonel's okay. Like, and it's like 30 minutes of like build up and talk about it, and then they just like they do that History Channel war thing, and then it fades to black, and you hear the Colonel's voice, and you're like, the Colonel's okay. Okay, good, good. You
Yeah,
know,
but that's good. So they kind of kept you in suspense, like
yeah,
where you think, like,
yeah,
okay, this guy is dead, and they're talking about him in like in a in memoriam kind of thing, and then the reveal is that he's alive.
yeah,
That's great. That's how you do it well. But it
yeah.
was just like, yeah, the American Horror Story thing that's like really shook me, and yeah, and Black Widow was an enjoyable movie, but yeah, like just the stakes were super low, and so.
So, how big of a fan are you for Ozarks?
I haven't watched any of it.
Oh, okay. because I think if my source is correct, I haven't been on Netflix in days because Diablo, Diablo.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so apparently the next season of Ozarks actually came out, and like that's
Which is the last one, right? I mean,
yeah,
I know enough about it. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's the last
I
one.
think it's the last one. When it comes to shows, and this is kind of where the last kind of thing I want to touch on here. When it comes to these shows that have like seasons, do you like when there's only like 3 or 4 seasons and it wraps up and tells an entire story, or like with the Disney where they're like, look, we're gonna do a season of this where it tells a story over an entire season and that's the arc? Are you a fan of that where it's not where it's very closed ended where they're like, look, this is all we got, this is what it needs to be, and we'll tell you a story, or are you kind of a fan of like Supernatural where it's just 22 fucking seasons of just like let's see what we can come up with?
No, I like, but it's just so difficult for creators to be able to get that kind of vision out there. Like, I mean, like Lost. I don't know if you watched Lost at all.
Very
Like
disappointed.
the Yeah, oh yeah, but like the first several seasons of that show were like groundbreaking, and it was great. And it was the first show that really like tried to like use the internet to further the mystery. You know, it's like so many people were going to like websites and trying to find like the Easter eggs, and it was a cultural phenomenon. Like literally everyone that I knew was like fully invested in that show, and it was like so good. It was well acted, it was well written, and then it's like they just kept going and going, just like, oh, it's super popular, everyone, it's making the network a shit ton of money, so we'll keep doing this. So they had to keep trying to up the ante all the time. But then it's like, well, then it's like, oh, ratings are plummeting, so you guys need to kind of like wrap this up. And they're like, we were just kind of flying by the seat of our pants the whole time. We don't really know how to wrap this up. And then you just get this tacked on just bullshit at the end, where it's just abrupt, a bunch of threads are unanswered. I like the like I don't know if you're a big Ricky Gervais fan or if you've watched Afterlife on Netflix, but it's like, yeah, it's the perfect kind of British thing. It's going 3 seasons. Each season is only like 8 or 10 episodes, and like this is the entirety of the arc. And I would love if like a network show or cable show or whatever was able to say like, look, we have 5 seasons worth of material. This is what we want to do. It's going to need X amount of episodes per season. Either green light it from the onset, or we're going to keep shopping this around until we find someone that wants to do it. Because a lot of times it's just like, oh yeah, we'll give you a season, and then based on ratings and ad revenue and whatever, we'll see if you get a second season. It's like, well, I haven't been able to tell the story that I wanted to tell. So I would rather like a shorter run kind of thing to complete like a full vision, rather than just it's going to go on as long as it's popular, and then once it's not popular anymore, then it cancels.
Yeah.
See.
I mean that like The Walking Dead, Lost, a lot of the other, a lot of everything else that is out there that has those long runnings where it's just like kind of there's always that point where either people stick with it and they love it, or they're like, hey, this is an I'm outie 5000.
Yeah.
With The Walking Dead, it was the love triangle. They extended that love triangle out for a couple of seasons and a couple extra episodes, and like it got some extra content and it felt very fillery. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like the best example that I can use is The Last Man on Earth with, oh God, why do I not know his name? But he's hilarious as, oh my God, this is gonna bug me. You don't know him? The last.
I can picture him. I have not seen the show, but I know who you're talking about. I can picture him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh God damn it. He was fucking hilarious. Here he is. Oh yeah, Will Forte and Kristen Satchel. Yeah, like it was just great because like the first season, he like for the longest time like he was the last man on Earth. That's who he thought he was, and he went through just some of the cool dumb adventures that you would do as the last person on the Earth. There were just so many funny and fun things that he was doing, and then all of a sudden he found a girl, and then just like the stakes kept getting upped, but it was like within a story arc. And it was funny because I don't want to give it away, but the last episode before it actually got canceled had this huge reveal. And like, I was like, oh my God, no, it's canceled. It's done.
Yeah.
And you're like, motherfucker. And I
Yeah,
hate that.
I hate when that happens too. It's like I don't know if you watch. It's fucking years ago. My Name is Earl. It was a sitcom with Jason Lee. Did you ever
I
watch that
love
show?
that show.
That was great too. And that was another one. It was just like they kept going and going and going, and then it's like what was like it turns out that he really was the father or something, and then wanted to see like how that was going to play out, and then it's like yeah, canceled and. Uh, I don't know, like Veronica Mars. I wasn't a fan of that show, but it was cool that they did it. That they had like a Kickstarter to raise enough money because there's like, hey, we really could do like one more season, or we could have done like a wrap up movie or whatever to kind of finish off the arc. And they got enough money, and then they had like that standalone movie. And I think they ended up coming back actually as like a standalone season too. But that's neat when they can do that to at least finish off a creative vision. Yeah, we were like fully invested in Walking Dead for the longest time, and we were even watching The Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick, like the talk show
Nice.
afterwards.
Nice.
Kind of breaking down everything because we loved it, and then it got to the point where it was like, what the hell happened? I think that they met like like the Tiger King essentially or whatever like
Yeah.
the one, and it was just like this is so fucking ham-fisted and stupid, and it's like how do they keep meeting all these groups that they never encountered before, and it's just like no, this is just dumb as shit.
Yeah.
And then like the whole thing with like the way that they killed Glenn, we were just like okay, that was a little gratuitous and out, like it was one of those shows where like main characters died, and so you got kind of used to doing that, but just like the brutal nature that in which the way that it was done to like a fan favorite like that kind of felt like an extra like middle finger to the fans. And so I was just like, I know there's like a certain faction of people that really liked that and appreciated that they did that, but me, I was just like no, we were like hard pass after that, so we didn't watch anything after that.
Was it a brutal, as in like a glorious brutal death, or was it like, dude, really? Did you really need to do that to him?
Yeah, that's how we felt. Like
Okay.
it was enough that like Negan could have like bashed him with Lucille or whatever it was, and killed him. But it was just like the gratuitousness and like the eyes bulging out, and it's just like, did you really need to do that to like fan favorite Glenn? Like
Okay.
it
I
was
gotcha.
like it was just so over the top, and it just seemed like the producers like, oh, the fans really like Glenn, so fuck off here, there's a take that and suck it, and if you don't like it, and it's just like okay, well, I guess you've lost a viewer, not that you really give a shit, but now that they've got like one of my friends at work still watches it, and she was telling me like just the complete asinine ridiculousness that they were still encountering. And I was like, that just sounds so fucking dumb. Like, I'm so glad that we jumped ship when we did. Like,
Nice.
it just so
Yeah. I like that when like you're like, I'm glad I made the right choice. I'm glad I made the right choice. This all sucks dick. I'm done with it. Cool. So I got you. I got
yeah,
you. Well, sorry, Eric. I apologize here, but it's I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the congestion. I'm feeling a lot of it. I
yeah.
mean,
You made mention that it kind of
yeah,
hurt to talk, so
yeah.
it's
It's
best to
no, like
keep
I
it
was
under
even
2 hours.
yeah, I was even happy that like because one of the things that we've noticed is that like with the shorts and hoodie stuff, like a lot of people like like the sweet spot is the hour podcast, and I know I'm like an hour, I'm like a 2 hour guy minimum, but like no, it just it, and I hate it because like I just took my first pill today, and like I can
Mm,
kind of I can feel like I feel a little bit better, but like it's one of those things where it's like take it until it's done and then you'll feel better. So yeah, I don't
yeah,
know. I really appreciate having you on, man. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I know I'm cutting this one a little bit short, and it just
No, no
it
worries. You got to
sucks.
take it. Got to take care of your health, man. It's
I know.
it's a priority.
I know. That's what everyone keeps telling me, and I still feel bad because it's like this is the one time we really get to hang out for like a while. So
Yeah, well, we need to change that. We need to look into playing some games together, and then actually get that meetup
oh,
in the
dude.
process.
Oh, dude, I tell you, if the moment I'm like, yep, I can spring for that, you better believe it. You're gonna get a flurry of text messages that are gonna be like, you better be online tonight, or you're never coming back on again.
Awesome, dude.
All right, well,
Yeah.
Eric, where can we find you as always?
A File Under Entertainment podcast with Dylan and Eric. We are actually back. Hopefully, we are going to be doing more consistent episodes after our long hiatus. Anyone that hasn't listened, there's a full season plus worth of movie related content of Dylan and I talking shit about movies from an alphabetical approach. Our second season is music, and we're still doing some movie related stuff there. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then also the Evil Mark Show, which is sports talk. We're kind of transitioning more into like pop culture kind of thing since the college football season is over and the NFL playoffs are wrapping up as well. So it's we're planning on just keeping it going until as long as there's content and as long as there's things to talk about and as long as people are interested. The last episode we had the Mock My World segment, which we'd love to have you come on. We're thinking about doing that like every couple of weeks. Trying to get people to come on and do a fun segment. This one, I don't want to spoil it because I know that you're probably going to listen on Saturdays, but we talked about dynasties and there's going to be some surprising things that you
Okay. Okay.
because it's not just like when you were on, it's not fully all sports. There's some really interesting answers that get brought up, and so it's a lot of fun, and so I urge people to kind of check that out.
Nice. Well, if Mark is doing the recordings at 7 o'clock, if he's comfortable with me being like 7:05, 7:10 or something like that,
Yep.
I am fully 100% down to do some more of those round robin things. Those were, dude, that was. I mean, that's half the reason why I got into the Shorts and Hoodies podcast because I was like, that was kind of fun. And then
Yeah.
and look at where I am now. So
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's like, and especially, we already have that kind of rapport and we like feed off of each other. So that'll be a huge fun time. Yeah, the two new guys that came on, they were Keith and Dylan from Buddy Book Club. So I urge you to check out that show too because they're really fun and funny. So yeah, that was
awesome.
cool. So it's nice to meet interesting people through the world of podcasting.
And just to throw out some more there, because I just want to give another shout out to Susius, are my favorite, for being the sponsor of this episode. Throw them out there. The Evil Mark Show, File Under Entertainment, Stolen Our Hearts. Just everyone, go check them out. Your podcasts are literally stacked if you want to try all of them here most recently. So, Eric, it has been an absolute pleasure, my friend. I
As
always
always,
love hanging
dude.
out.
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself, Jared.
I
It's
will.
important.
All right.
All right, buddy.
See you
See
guys
ya, man.
later.
Take care.